Welcome back, everybody, to the TLS Season 3 Qualifier 3. We are going on to the semifinals. Alright, our first match is going to be none other than DragOn PaiN, formerly LRM Dragon, against Andre. Dre, more Andre Elegant.
Yeah, you know I'm always a fan of more Andre. I can take as much Andre as you can throw at me. I'm such a big fan of watching him play. Big fan of watching DragOn play as well. He's an interesting player. Interesting enough, I'm just taking a look at DragOn's results so far throughout this tournament, and I'm a bit confused by what happened in Qualifier 1. In Qualifier 1 in the bracket, I see DragOn as beating Enjoy Me 1-0. However, I then see Enjoy Me in the final against Zaraki, so I'm wondering if there's something going on there.
Magic.
The Matrix is broken. I'm telling you, you saw it here first. But I'm wondering if maybe DragOn had to go for some reason. But DragOn was also knocked out in the next qualifier by Dian Max, who is quite an old school Peruvian Protoss player. So not too much shame in that. But Dian Max was then knocked out in the next round by Kenzie. So not necessarily finalist material. So I'd expect DragOn to want to be making a bit of a stronger appearance in this one than he previously has.
Yeah, it's really interesting. DragOn actually was kind of a mainstay in the foreign scene. He's actually a race picker, so he plays Protoss, except he plays ZVP instead of PvP. And he's always been very, very high. I think he's like A minus max.
Yep.
He was one of the heavy hitters for LRM when he was on their team. But after LRM got knocked out of Gambit's Cup, the last season of Gambit's Cup, I think he went sort of semi-inactive or something. I don't know. I remember him saying something in the forums about kind of like semi-retiring. So I don't know how much he's played since then, and that was quite a few months ago, actually. So it's really good to see him kind of sort of back in form, I guess, and here in the semifinals, here in this qualifier. Really interested to see how far he can go. Andre making it this far, he's making it far in another qualifier. He hasn't won one yet, but he's got quite a lot of points by now, I would imagine.
Yeah, I would think so. He's just popping up all over the place. If you haven't got many points by now, I'm gonna be quite shocked. Interestingly about DragOn, I know that I haven't really been active at all over the last month or two. I haven't been able to play even a little bit. But DragOn actually spent some time on AOV, so I don't really know how much was happening there. But I know he has been around and looking for games. I personally haven't been able to get on to see how much he's been playing, but we could see something good out of him here today.
Well, it sounds very good, and we are now in best of 3 mode, guys. So we're casting all of these games, however many they are. Of course, the map pool is going to be Destination, Neo Aztec, and then Fighting Spirit, if necessary. And quickly, before we go into the games, I want to give a huge shout out to our sponsors, Razer and Twitch TV, because they are awesome. We would not be here casting these games without their support. So many, many thanks to them.
Yeah, we would not indeed. I wouldn't be hearing you so well. I wouldn't be clicking so incredibly accurately. Just nothing would be going on. I'd be sitting here deaf and unable to observe. So thanks to Razer for that. And yeah, big thanks to Team Oakwood for putting the whole thing on. They're truly lovely people.
We're wearing their shirts. They got to be good. Speaking of shirts, there's a new TL shirt that I think is now available in the store. There was a countdown earlier, but it's got like the little Sonon patch thing or something.
Very cool.
It's really awesome. And but TL hates Europe, so we don't get it until next month.
Oh, what?
Yeah, only available for NA. That's alright, we'll get it in a month, so I can wait.
Put it on your calendars, guys.
Yeah, exactly. Good. So with that, our first semi-final match. Are you ready, Elegant?
I'm ready.
Alright, here we go. And here we go into game number 1 of the first semi-final match. At the top position as the blue Protoss, we have a DragOn PaiN. At the bottom position as the teal Terran, we have dredredre, aka Andre.
The tag PaiN even just scares me. You don't usually see PaiN players who aren't up to the challenge. And so just the fact that he's there makes me think he's probably looking to be in fairly decent shape, because it carries a certain amount of weight Players who wear that tag often pretty scary to face down against.
They've got Oxer, they've got Assault, I think.
Yep.
They got some.
They're
got some
busy
badass
from time
players.
to time.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. Busy, one of my all-time favorite guys to cast. So yeah, they really bring in the good players, and that's kind of a statement of intent, if nothing else to me. I wear the PaiN tag. I intend to play well and to beat you horribly. But we do have a pylon scout coming out from DragOn. So I would imagine it's a gas steal, as is not unusual on Destination.
He's doing the thing Doty did. It's gonna be evil. Let's see if he follows us up with a DT rush as well. That would just be pure evil. But I don't know. I mean, DragOn seems like a nice guy though. He doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would do that. You know, gas steal into proxy DT. But these Protoss players, you just never know. You can never tell. You know, one day they're saying good luck, have fun, and next day they're stealing your gas. I mean, this is just what happens.
It's horrible. It's really horrible. I had some kind of weird visual artifact there and thought I saw scan go down. Not the player scan. I thought I saw a scan go down on the barracks. And I'm questioning its legitimacy right now.
Your replay's broken, Elegant. Somebody's got comp stats already.
It's the guy who I can't see in the top right-hand corner who already has scan. It's the observer getting a bit ahead of himself. We do already have a gateway happening for DragOn PaiN. No gas as of yet, which is fairly interesting. I'm wondering if he's going to follow it with some kind of sneaky expansion build.
Whoa, this is interesting. I mean, he could just be delaying slightly to get... Oh, what? Get a second gateway. I did not see that one coming.
On 14.
I don't know. Do you think that's a response to the second barracks though? Because I mean, this second barracks isn't even hidden. It's like a plain sight second barracks. I don't think you need a second gateway, but I'm not actually sure exactly. This is going into the realm of places I don't really know. I don't really play gas deals into 2K at all. So yeah, this is going to be a new experience for me. I want to see what happens.
Yeah, interesting stuff right now from DragOn. That looks like a reaction because that is not an optimal build for any kind of aggression. So I can only imagine that is some kind of reaction to what to this double racks. I don't feel like that's necessary. If you see it's happening, you can just be not too ahead of yourself. Oh, it looks like he's going to let the SCV scouts in as well. His first zealot. Oh, I'm getting so confused with that SCV. Oh, that is some crazy.
What the hell is going on?
Was that deliberate by Andre? Please tell me that could have been deliberate.
That was like the mega awkward moment in the street where you can't walk past somebody except they just did it like 20 times.
I've never seen that last for so long. Either that was deliberate or that was just the biggest kind of half-in cock-up I've yet to see in Google.
I have no idea. But how can you even do that on purpose though? Like, how do you even micro that? That must be so hard.
Yes, it must, which is further evidence of Andre being a Brood War genius, who's just kind of held back by his own.
Maybe he didn't actually micro it, but he knew the exact angle to run into the Zealot to make that happen. Maybe that's the genius, right?
Exactly. It's like jousting. You gotta be good. It's all about the first shot. We have a good number of Marines pushing out now. They're going to with a decent number of Zealots. Oh, but it looks like they could get quite badly caught. But I think the Marines do have just enough numbers. As long as Andre's micro is good, and it is good, he manages to take out 3 Zealots almost.
Man, that was some pretty decent micro, but I think he just had too many Marines anyway, even if he didn't micro. And I guess the second gateway was actually necessary because now he's really on the back foot, and he only has Zealots actually. The only missed micro there from Andre was not actually having his SCVs blocking properly, but otherwise he was in good shape, and he's now getting an Academy. He's just going for the kill here, I think, with his Marines. I'm surprised he hasn't pulled more SCVs, in fact. And here we go. There's 4 Zealots now, so it's going to be a little bit more tricky, but they're a little bit stuck here. And remember, Zealots are slower than Marines, so you can micro them effectively. The Zealots now trying to engage a little bit. They're going to pick off one of the SCVs, but man, these Zealots are not in a happy place. But the one SCV building a bunker does get picked off.
Just gets picked off in time. That would have been bad if the bunker got out. Dre is just going to have to pull back and micro a little bit. Oh, he's not paying attention to his Marines. That could be really bad if these Zealots get a good surround. They do get a good surround. And he loses 3 Marines right there. Manages to take down 2 Zealots in the meantime, so he's not in any actual danger. But his attack loses its momentum just a little bit, but he does have more Marines on the way. That's one of the joys of Marines. They just produce so incredibly fast. And he's going to be able to regroup himself and might be able to take out a couple more Zealots. If only he would keep an eye on his Marines a little bit more carefully, then he could do a lot better. But he's still managing to keep DragOn well at bay.
Man, I haven't seen this much Zealot on Marine action since that BGH tournament I casted. I mean, seriously, this has never happened. Zealot on Marine with no upgrades on either side. I mean, this
5
doesn't
minute mark.
happen in 1v1
Yeah.
games, you know? I mean, every now and then you have the crazy, you know, Deep Six style Medic Marine tank bust. But these are like unupgraded Marines with no tank support, just like pure Marine versus slow Zealot. This is crazy. Do you think that, wait, by the way, he's getting a range now. Do you think, did he get stim already? I didn't actually see. I assume he must have gotten stim.
He's got medic.
Yeah.
He could actually have stim, and that's going to be really bad if he has.
Yeah, because Stim Marines, by the way, guys, Bio is actually pretty effective against Protoss who doesn't have tech, although he doesn't quite have enough units here. Oh, he's got a fire bat! Oh man, that's cute. And it's actually being really effective. Holy.
Yeah,
what?
it's actually very effective, but he doesn't have quite enough medics, and his force is cleaned up. The fire bat is defiant to last, and is it?
Oh, he does have stim!
It's an unkillable fire bat.
Yeah, but guys,
firepower.
goons can't shoot fast enough to actually outdamage medic healing. So he really needs to target fire, because if he doesn't, he'll actually just lose. Anyone who's actually played Micro Tournament knows this really well. There's this really stupid level of Dragoons versus Medic Marine. You've got to do really good target firing, otherwise they just like out heal you. It's crazy.
Yeah. It looks like it's quite unsuccessful for Andre, though. He is able to kill quite a few Zealots, but he's not able to touch a single Dragoon, and the Dragoons are what we're really interested at this point. They are what cost serious money. And he's kind of got a bit of unnecessary tech.
You should have stimmed and tried to save that medic, I think, but I guess not. It was actually a low energy medic. But 2 medics way more efficient than 1, I think. Anyway, oh,
absolutely. What
the hell, goons? I don't know. What the hell, goons?
Oh, I think he tried to cross the ramp. He tried to cross the bridge and it didn't really
happen.
happen.
Run, What?
Ouch. Dragon losing 2 Dragoons there for free. That is painful stuff.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. I don't know what he hoped to accomplish there. Oh god, taking more damage on that guy. Anyway, he is expanding now, though. And we do see a factory switch. I can't believe I'm saying factory switch in TVP. It's like, what? You never have factory switches. But we do have a robo as well, because of course Reavers will crush any kind of bio, which is the general reason why you don't see them that much, see bio that much, that is, in this matchup.
Yeah, it's just brutal when you get one big Reaver shot in the middle of Marines. They die like 8 at a time. It's crazy stuff. 2 Reavers and you're safe versus almost any number of Marines as long as you micro competently. It really hurts to watch. The Dragon is in a stable position. He's got plenty of Dragoons. He's got an expansion coming up now, which is not too far behind that of Andre. But Andre's going to be feeling pretty good too. And these guys, despite the crazy openers that we've seen, are going to kind of wander fairly stably into the mid game.
Yeah, I can't even believe how that's happened. That, you know, with a gas deal into 2-Rax Academy bio attack versus 2-Gate, we're actually in a fairly normal looking mid game. It's just really weird how that happens. It really makes me think back to, you know, to one of Day9's old podcasts where he basically said exactly this. There's like a million variations of the mid game and a million different things you can do in the late game, but generally the mid game always tends to converge.
Yeah.
So, yeah, crazy, man, crazy.
It's really funny, isn't it? Yeah.
It's like whatever opening you do, you just get to this general game plan here.
Yeah, you get to the mid game, which is a constant value. It's funny that, isn't it? Trust his observations.
I do.
Yeah, I do.
Good old Day9.
Good old Day9.
Anyway, we got a 4 fact here, a follow-up from Andre. Still only 3 gateways by, what's his face, Dragon, but he has an Archives already. Ooh, this could be interesting. He's got an Archives, he doesn't have a Stargate, so he's going just... What is he going, DTs? It's pretty late for DTs.
Yes. No, it's got to be fast. It's got to be fast.
He's making 1 DT though. And he's not getting
one
stored.
DT. That's just probably just because he's got the tech, I would imagine. But you're right. There's no Stargate evidently, so yeah, it could be some kind of DT drop shenanigans.
This is a bit weird. I mean, he must just be a little bit short on gas. He must be getting storm eventually, right? You can't just get DTs, can you?
It's not advised, no. I mean, they're good, but they're not like, oh, he killed Panda Bear guy.
What? Where?
He killed Panda Bear guy in the middle. He is dead. He's dead.
I don't see it.
There's an SCV, sorry, aside from Panda Bear guy, that's making its way all the way into the main of Dragon. Andre managing to sneak that through somehow, but it looks like it's going to get taken out. But the Zealots, it's not actually going to get all the way in. That's a bit of a weird mistake to make. Gets to the top of the ramp and just stops. But it doesn't matter because he's got scanned. But yeah, Panda Bear guy is dead, people. Avenge his soul, Andre.
Wait, why would Dragon do that?
Hang on, a tank just died. What? In Andre's natural. What is going on in this game?
How are you seeing all these things? Is your replay broken again? I don't see a tank dying. There's 5 tanks in the natural. How many tanks do you have?
It just died in the mineral line.
What?
Yeah, I'm serious.
What the hell is going
I
on?
saw a tank explode. I don't know what happened. I only just got there in time to see the tail end of the explosion. That is bizarre. Oh, you know what it must have been? Because he's mined out the back minerals, so he must have snuck a DT or something around, and then he just got into missile turret range as he reached the tank in the natural, in the mineral line, and then the other tanks must have sieged it down. Oh no, but they're pointing in the wrong direction. I don't know what's happening anymore. This is ridiculous.
I love how you noticed that they were pointing in the wrong direction. I wouldn't have thought of that. That's pretty smart.
Oh dear, my brain is twisting in absolute knots right now. I don't know what's happening.
This is crazy, Elegant. Man, Elegant, are you sure you're not just high and seeing things?
I'm seeing scan at the 30-second mark. I'm seeing
exactly.
tanks.
That's what I'm saying, man. I mean, I thought I would be going crazy today because I'm actually a little bit sick, so I was worried like I'd start hallucinating or something. But I'm a bit more worried for you, Elegant.
I'm worried.
This is not good. All right, I have to keep an eye on you.
Yeah, please do. This is very, very scary times. But if I am not mistaken somehow, we do have a 5th factory on the way up for Andre, which does of course mean we're going to see some pretty serious aggression out of him. Throwing a bunch of vultures up to the top right hand corner, they're going to find a newly forming Nexus, and they might actually be able to take it down. Vultures not so shabby at killing Nexus once they really get to it. That Nexus is still fairly young, but I think the Dragon should be able to get over there and take him out, but he hasn't got any observers handy, so if he runs his Dragoons up there, he's going to be a very sore fellow indeed, and the Nexus is cancelled.
Yeah, that is a bit unfortunate now for DragOn, but he is finally getting a slightly delayed Stargate. He does have a shuttle with High Templar, so he is actually getting Storm here for the mid game, which I actually really like. This is more of a personal preference thing. I think a lot of Protoss... Whoa, we actually have a 6-fact follow-up. That's interesting. It might actually be good now that the 3rd was cancelled, because he's going to have more units to help deal with this.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's a stylistic thing. I feel like a lot of Protoss players generally favor going for the Arbiter first and kind of skipping Templars. But, I don't know, I really love getting the Templars. Because, look, if you stasis something, right, it's not going to die. It'll just come back later on. And sometimes Terrans can even save the units that they stasis. But if you could just go for, like, a blanket storm on the Terran army, not only do you kill stuff, but then you, like, feel like Jangbi, and you're like, oh, yeah. You just, like, hear the fangirls cheering for you. Or, you know, just hear it in your head, because you don't actually have fangirls. But you know how it is, Elegant. Yeah. Actually, wait, no, I guess you don't, because I'm sure you actually have real fangirls, but for us lowly folk.
Only one, and she actually secretly hates me playing StarCraft. So it's not,
ouch.
It's not
ouch.
So good. Yeah, but what can you do? Women, eh? But
wait, did he just shoot his own mine for no reason?
No, yeah.
Because that mine was gonna be dragged into the middle of the Zealots, and then he killed it. He did like a reverse Gosu technique right there.
Yeah, that was a little bit strange. Back to what I was going to say before, I don't know why more Protestants don't go for this storm-heavy style. I think it's really, really, really awesome, especially if you're going to be facing against a heavy push, just a 6-fact push, going up to 7 factories now, even though he's got another command center on the way, with the DT blocking it on the right-hand side. Nice. I just don't know why you don't see the High Templar more often, because a lot of the time you see Protoss players die at this point of the game because they've got 1 Arbiter, they manage 1 Stasis, and it doesn't really do as much as they thought. Whereas 3 High Templar with Storm, you're not messing with that, are you? That's 6 Storms at this stage. That's serious.
Yep. I think one reason players are somewhat reluctant to do it is that you have to really get the positioning of the Templar dropping correctly, because if you go too far forward, they just get sniped out immediately by tanks, and if you put them too far back, they can't reach far enough, and like the Terran can actually target them down with siege tanks anyway. So you have to really hit this sweet spot right in the middle, so close enough to actually be in storm range, but kind of mixed in with the rest of your army so they don't get targeted first. And if you mess it up and you lose all your High Templar, then you can just like instantly lose. So
yeah,
it is. I mean, I can see why some players don't like it. I mean, that's basically why I didn't like them in the beginning, is because I just sucked at using them.
Yeah, that is true, because it's a high micro unit, and where that comes in, there's always a heavy element of risk. So yeah, I do see your point, but I think that once you practice it, you can get it fairly foolproof, and it can work out so beautifully well, especially on a map like Destination, where you have some real choke points, and those choke points are what makes it difficult to beat the Terran. So take advantage of that and get all these clump units while they're hot. And nice size storm, and it can really work wonders. And now we're seeing, excuse me, seeing Andre heading through one of those choke points right now, and we're going to see how that works out for DragOn.
Yeah, he's got to be careful though. He doesn't want to attack into this small area on the bridge. He wants to let the Terran army come out into the wider open area, and then he can go down. He's going a little bit early, I feel. I don't know if this is the best idea. There's a lot of tanks in the back that he can't really reach. But here come the storms. Come on, where are the storms? There's the storms. Oh man, really good first two storms. Can he storm the back tanks as well? There's a lot of clump tanks in the back. There's High Templar going in the back. One more storm from High Templar would be great. And there we go. Nice engagement for DragOn. He's going to clean up this army from Andre. Even though I said it wasn't the best position to engage, you can see a lot of his units are still getting stuck behind the bridge. It doesn't matter. The storms were good. And that is that.
There we go indeed. Thank you, somebody, for finally proving one of my points in a broadcast. I thought the day would never come. However, Andre has used his superb multitasking to land some tanks over on the left-hand side, and he is going to be able to probably take that Nexus down before help can arrive. Those two siege tanks can do exactly what they're intended to do, whilst the army of DragOn is away. But there are going to be some zealots sent over there, and they might just be in time. DragOn, meanwhile, is pushing on. I feel maybe a little bit too far. I'm not sure if he has enough dragoons left, enough zealots rather, to deal with this. He has plenty of dragoons left, but I think he would be better to pull back rather than spending all his units and getting trapped in that rather nasty location. Very sensitive.
The Nexus, elegant, the Nexus! One shot! Oh, 43 HP! 43 HP!
That's so sniped. That is a Nexus to be sniped.
And the bottom right base stays alive. There weren't enough dragoons to crash through, so Andre... well, both players actually saved their bases, so I guess we're all good.
Yeah, it's kind of evened out, but...
Oh, he's gonna drop two vultures in to go. The Arbiter might kill the dropship. Oh, he can't catch it, though. You can't catch it. Alright, here we go. Now, vultures don't kill buildings very fast. They only do quarter damage. Or is it half damage? No, it's quarter damage.
And it's still not gonna work.
I thought he was gonna do like a cool micro, like run around, do like a like a not a micro trick or something, and he just like dropped them and didn't do anything. That was a bit disappointing.
That would have been recommendable, wouldn't it?
Wait, yeah. DragOn is now on 6 gateways and 5 bases. That seems a little bit lopsided.
He doesn't really have any money though, so maybe he's waiting to really gateway up. Now he should start throwing down loads of gateways. But I can see why he hasn't got loads of gateways yet, because evidently he hasn't had the cash to make it happen. Oh, Andre with a very nice fast reaction, managing to save a bunch of his vultures from getting mined by just a few zealots, and is able to take out the zealots before most of the vultures do eventually go down, losing a dragoon, losing another dragoon.
Again, he's doing another drop, and it's still no good.
Oh, are you kidding me?
It down to 16 HP.
16 HP left on that Nexus. That is a lucky
man,
Nexus.
He must be so mad. Oh god, that drop actually had 2 vultures and a tank, and he lost all of them, and he lost the dropship and still didn't kill it.
He's going to be like the mad emperor who wastes a great empire on one fruitless endeavor, isn't he? He's going to drop small dribs and drabs of units in there until he finally runs out and GG's.
That is exactly what's going to happen, I think. I love the way you said it too, the mad emperor. I can just imagine, especially like a guy like Andre being the mad emperor, just letting the power get to his head. I can definitely see that happening.
Absolutely. However, the Mad Emperor's empire is in jeopardy right here. The bottom left-hand corner is not going to be lasting too much longer. All he can do right now is evacuate the SCVs, but that might not be able to happen. Oh, slightly questionable storm, but a good second storm. The SCVs are really, really strong, so only 3 died to 3 storms. So
they're like all red health.
Yeah, the SCVs are so imbert, I'm telling you, they're super tough. There is one zealot making chase, but that's not going to be doing too much. And meanwhile, DragOn is in trouble over on the top right-hand side corner of the map. His base is getting taken down. There's very little he can do about it. He does not have a big enough army at home. His economy still hasn't really quite kicked in properly, and he still doesn't have many gateways with which to replenish his army, but he is moving around the back of Andre's base, landing a nice storm on the mineral side, taking out a lot of SCVs, but Andre is now not mining too well at all, and he maybe is about to lose a good portion of his main as well, sieging up plenty of siege tanks there to defend, but meanwhile the top right hand corner base is going to go down 2 in the meantime, and that's going to leave DragOn on only 2 mining bases. DragOn, though, choosing not to continue with that aggression and pulling back, feeling like he might get a little bit trapped in the main. I think that's a sensible decision.
Yeah, DragOn also a little bit slow on the pro pull on the top right, but that's okay because the tanks were not in siege mode, the top ones at least, but he's going to lose that Nexus as you said, so it's going to go back down to I guess... Well, actually, DragOn is not mining in his main, so DragOn will be mining at his natural and his third, and he's getting a 4th on the left side, whereas Andre's getting this 3 o'clock base while still mining on his natural and his third as well. So it's going to be basically an even economy situation, which is good for the Terran, especially if they go to the long game and it becomes split map. It's quite difficult for Protoss. DragOn will probably have to switch the carriers, as I think I said in a previous PVT we casted last week on this map, where, you know, you kind of forced in the late game to go carriers by the structure of the middle. You know, it's not a very big open wide map. It's not that favorable for ground engagements.
I think you're right, but of course, in order to make any switch, you have to have two things. You have to have three. Oh, hold on! Thought we have a recall going in on this base, and that is going to help him crush it with relative ease. All the tanks going down. The command center's going to go down too, and that will keep him alive for a good while longer and keep him kicking. He has a really quite big army, 170 supply. He hasn't got much cash in the bank, but he will have at least one decent army to play with. My previous thought was that in order to make a decent switch, you have to have two things. You have to have free supply, and you have to have plenty of money, and he has neither of those things right now. So I think that a carrier switch is going to be a little way off, at least until he gets that left-hand side base properly up and running, which will be quite soon. And big recall going in to the back of the main base of Andre as well. He's going to have difficulty cleaning that up. He needs to get some units back right away. All his army is basically coming back, but he's looking seriously low on supply right now. DragOn is just...
Oh my god, he's going to storm the mineral line! Oh no!
Oh, that is horrible. That is horrible. How many kills that High Templar have? 25. Goodness me.
25 kill High Templar. Andre is just getting torn apart now. In the late game, he's down to only 87 supply against 167. He was looking so good for the whole game, but the late game Pernos shenanigans, the recalls, the storms, everything is proving to be a little bit too much. He is going to clean out the back of his main base, but oh, looks like he finally killed. Oh, he ran a ground siege tank to kill that top left base, so that was good. After all that dropping, in the end, the one that killed it was one that just walked over there. Meantime, oh, can he get one more storm? Oh, it's gonna stay alive. It's gonna hide in the corner. But yeah, so DragOn's now mining from the left side base in his natural, and Andre's only mining from his natural, which actually isn't mined out yet, I guess. In fact, he's actually kept the third CC alive, even though he lost that the SCVs there. And it looks like an SCV actually killed the High Templar as well. So Andre, if he can hold the base, he can keep mining, but he can't hold it. He doesn't have enough units.
Why isn't he leaving some tanks on the high ground? He leaves one tank on the high ground. I can't help but feel that all those tanks on the high ground will be the order of the day, and that might help him carry on. But he's insisting on trying to get them round, and they're going to be way too late. They're all getting horribly bottlenecked outside his natural expansion, and that base is probably going to go down. He's having to lift the command center and going to try and take it out, but tanks on the high ground would just be so powerful right now, and it looks like he is finally going to siege up a few, and he should be able to use those SCVs to block as well, but instead, no, deciding to just try and run them away. They're all going to go down regardless, but he is going to be able to get around and flank the army of DragOn. The CC is going to make it out as well, and the army of DragOn getting severely beaten back. 118 supply now to 70. It's a big lead, but it's not as big as it could be, and the Protoss is not as dominating as he would like. It's now only mining off basically one base with that little cute siege tank move from Andre.
I think Andre missed a bit of an opportunity there. If he had swung around a little bit quicker, he could have actually cut off the entire army and trapped it in here and just taken it out, which would have been really nice for him. He did let out a decent amount of the army, so DragOn's going to regroup here. Both players really suffering a little bit. You know, neither player's mining very much. Neither player has a giant army. DragOn, okay, no, he does have a few more gateways. I was going to say, he's up on 9 gateways now. If he'd been on 6 gateways the whole time, I would have been very confused. But,
yeah, me too.
Yeah, anyway, so 125 against 82 now. It's like random hogs going to get sniped in the middle. Andre going to reclaim the space. He's at least been keeping the command center alive, so he you know, doesn't have to rebuild that and wait to start mining.
Yeah, but this army could well squash Andre. Why is he moving forward? He does not have the strength to move forward. He cannot do this. He's going to get overwhelmed unless he stays well within the cover of Spider-Man's missile turrets and all kinds of other scary shenanigans. He needs to get back into the relative safety of his defensive position right now, which is not looking so strong. And here comes the army of DragOn, preparing to make the big final assault that I think could be the one to finish Andre off. But we have yet to see. We have had many surprises today. There could be a few more in store for us right here. But Andre is sieged too far back. He's not in range to defend those missile turrets, and that gives DragOn a bit of an easy advance.
Yeah, it looks like DragOn, though, is not moving in with his entire army, just trying to poke him with the goons first to clear some lines, but actually decides not to commit. He isn't quite sure of the strength of the Terran defense there, so he doesn't want to risk suiciding his entire army. Meanwhile, one Vulture does scout the left side 9 o'clock base, so I'm not even sure if Andre was aware of that. One random tank, by the way, also in the backyard. I don't know where this guy even came from, but he's gonna not die? Now he's gonna die. Okay.
Now he's gonna die.
I have no idea where he came from, though. Do you know where he came from?
Nope.
Alright, so mystery tank guy doing a bit of harassment, which is nice. Meanwhile, both players just posturing a little bit with their armies, neither feeling quite strong enough to commit, and that's fine. Looks like Andre might be trying to make a move against the 9 o'clock base, though. If he can push up the left side, it is quite difficult for the Protoss to engage, because he can have all these tanks siege on the low ground. You know, this bridge isn't the easiest to attack across, and even though this high ground is a little bit wider, he can still cover himself from the low ground, so that's quite nice. So this could be a little bit hard for DragOn to defend. I don't know if DragOn might just counterattack at the bottom right. Yeah, it looks like he's just going for an attack. Actually, he hasn't seen the army yet, but he is going for a big attack.
He has a probe. He got a probe.
Ah, that's right. Yeah, I did hear something die.
I'm all over the dying things today. Yeah, Dragon's going to be able to push straight down there, and he's going to be met with nothing. It looks like Andre is going to get straight onto that high ground this time, a move that I'm fully behind. He has to be really, really cost efficient now, but with his current map positioning, it's not impossible. He's got a good position on the left-hand side. If he can hold on to the right-hand side, then he's going to be looking nice. He's about to suggest some more tanks on the high ground, and he can be cost efficient there, but oh my goodness, that is a big Process army moving over to that right-hand side base, and that is really important for Andre to hold on to. There are a lot of zealots moving in there. There are plenty of siege tanks on the high ground, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to clear out that army before they're able to take out the CC. No, very sensibly, Dragon deciding to move that army back instead of wasting it all trying to take down the CC. But in the meantime, on the left-hand side, the Nexus is done, and Andre is pushing forward and might be able to take out that top left-hand corner base as well. However, I feel that if his army dies, he may be in dire straits indeed. He has no bank, and Dragon has a significantly greater force than he does.
Yeah, Dragon's also double expanding to the top right, so he's going to have some backup plan. And oh my god, here we go. This could be a big engagement. Most of the tanks are on the high ground, but there's not that many vultures to support them against the zealots here. This could be a deciding engagement in this game. And nice team matrix though on the Goliath blocking the ramp, although it is going to get taken out pretty quickly anyway. But look at this, the Protoss army gets stuck on the bottom, but a nice storm on those units at the top of the ramp. There's still a bunch of siege tanks in the back, but again, not enough support against the zealots, although one storm actually clears out some of the zealots for him, and most of the zealots are gone, only dragoons left, and it looks like Andre's going to hold the high ground.
That's ridiculous. That is another great example of army positioning and preparation versus brute force. Really, really nice position from Andre. I'm glad he managed to pull out a good position in a time of desperate need. And Dragon is forced back and lost a lot of supply. 30 supply drop from Dragon right there. Meanwhile, a similar supply drop from Andre, although it was closer to 20 than 30. So Andre did gain a little bit there, and he is now moving forward with fresh forces, and he might be able to take out the last of these dragoons if he's careful. But if he's not careful, then he could lose all his reinforcements in one fell swoop to good storms, and there are a couple of storms to let in that army as well. Will he be careful? It looks like he's going to go for it. One High Templar making his way all the way forward and lands a storm. The reinforcements are taken down. He would have been much better regrouping them with the remnants of his main army where he could actually have some serious clout. Oh, and 2 more tanks going down as well. I fear that Andre doesn't have too many siege tanks left in him to play with.
And what the hell was that? Why didn't he just run up the left side onto the ramp and then just join his main army? Like, what? Why did he do that? He just suicided like 6 tanks for no reason. It was crazy. That was terrible. Andre, what are you thinking? Hey man, at least he's expanding again, so that's good. But now he's gonna lose his right side base. And that was just so weird.
That was classic Andre. He does something, makes a mistake. GG.
Typical Andre.
Typical Andre. It has to be said. It's like, oh, great play. Wow, that's really smart. And then everything kind of falls to pieces around him. Just confounding us as casters once again. But hey, there's still plenty more to come because that was a semi-final match. And so, of course, we are moving on to the best of 3 series now. Indeed. To say goodbye to Destination.
Indeed, although it is going to be Neo Aztec for game number 2, and that's not an easy map for TVP. So Andre's going to have his work cut out for him.
Yep, he is.
So we're going to go to a quick break and come back in a second, guys. Don't go anywhere.